All right, what's up? It's another day. Let's talk about discernment. Discernment is basically, having your own discernment is basically having your own so let me say like a checklist, right? Of determining what is actually true. So basically, it's like you focusing in to see what the truth is in something that's presented to you, whether that's information, even with people, you gotta. It's just basically just paying attention to see what the truth is in the matter of a situation or whatever's going on. Having discernment, having your own type of compass on seeing like what the truth is. Basically, let me not try to get in too much into that. That's what it is, and that's important. Everybody needs to have that, man, especially nowadays in this technological age. It all boils down to just yourself, who you are, like what do you stand for, what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? Like just and that knowing yourself, and also just paying attention. But that even goes hand in hand because you got to pay attention to yourself. And that I'm trying to tell y'all, that shit is powerful. You got people out here, man, that understand this type of shit and they operate. This is the foundation of how they operate, how they succeed, how they conduct their business, how they get their clientele, how they get audience engagement. This is the foundation, bro. Understanding yourself. Having discernment on yourself. Let me see if I'll throw the definition up there. I ain't gonna throw it up there, man. I'm gonna keep this shit simple, man. I'm not trying to do too much with the editing because it's like what I learned, what I discerned about myself. When I get too caught up in that shit, I end up pushing it off. So it's like let me record something real quick and just post it. Because if I think too much about it, try to perfect it, add this, all the bells and whistles on it, then I end up not even putting it out there. So we're gonna put it up right now. Discernment. By definition, it says the ability to judge well. Damn, I wish I just said that. In a Christian context, perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance and understanding. That's what I'm saying, like understanding. Let's read another one. The quality of being able to comprehend what is obscure. Skill in discerning. Another one. To see into, have knowledge, to detect. So, like I said before, you got people out here that is the foundation of their success. So an example, say like, say like these people that are like these gurus, these alpha male, these relationship advice people, it's hard to say, but the trend that I've noticed in that type of content is that they clearly have an audience for the stuff that they're talking about, right? And they understand that. They understand that there's a group of people that lack this. Now, whether I have what they lack, or even if I lack it as well, just the simple fact that I understand that this is something that they lack, or both of us lack, and that there is there is a persona, there is information, there's, that they will be attracted to. In the end, that will, help me generate revenue. That can be their main thing. They're not doing out the kindness of their heart. They're not like taking you on a self-improvement journey and like following along and just showing you the tips and ways of how they go. They're making money off of you because they know that that's something that you lack. It's like, man, it's just like on some sales shit. Even in sales, man, like selling products and stuff, they understand psychology. They understand how people think. They know how to get people to trust them. They know how to basically make you come about your wallet, man. I'm not trying to get too deep into it. Like, I don't want to trip over my words. But yeah, man, having discernment is really, really important. It could really save you from a lot of unnecessary loss of time. Saying like if you're dealing with somebody, or you're starting like a business venture, and you trying to excel in this because you believe it's one way. You were sold on the dream. But once you practice like understanding, okay, well, what is true? What is the truth to me? And you got to go back to yourself, like I said. So you gotta, once you understand that, it's like, okay, how do I gauge what is the truth and what is not? Am I the type of person that's kind of trustworthy a lot? I'm kind of gullible, or am I like somebody that's like, I don't trust nobody, And the thing is too, I feel like, and I could be wrong, I don't know. It's a theory of mine, but like, going through hardships and actually experiencing things, challenges and stuff, I feel like that's what develops people's discernment. But at the same time, you got people that be going through shit and they just gonna keep going through shit. The same shit too, just in different versions, but it's the same shit. Because you're not addressing the issue at its core. You're not paying attention to what's going on. Why I keep ending up in it? Because you're not paying attention to what the issue is. You didn't have any discernment on what the situation was. To you it's like it's just something. Oh, that's just something that I just went through. That's that autopilot shit, man. So like you gotta get to a point in your life where it's all like, it really is all up to me. Everything, all the way down to the T. No matter what the circumstances are, it really is up to me, 100%. I'm not saying you can't seek help. Of course seek help wherever you feel that it's needed, but don't what I'm trying to say, don't like escape to that. If you do that to avoid you holding yourself accountable, and you'd rather just have somebody else do it, then nah. Because it's like they're only gonna go based off of what you're expressing to them. And if you're not comfortable enough in your own skin to genuinely express what your true issues are, you just gonna be expressing a front. You just putting up a mask, and you just, what I'm saying? Like, instead of you going to the core of the problem, you just kind of go on surface level, say with whatever the incident was that you want to address, and then you just presenting that, and you're hiding other things that are, also factors to the incident even occurring. So this person over here trying to help you, it's like they're not helping you to solve the issue at its core. They just, they just reinforcing your ego in a sense. And your ego can only go so deep, man. Where did I hear this from? Yesterday, ego. Somebody made it into an acronym. Earth guide only is what he said. Or what was another one? Earth guide only, and what else did he say? It was another one. Someone had God in it. It said, I can't think of it. But basically what that means is like, yeah, like the ego is just a tool. But it's a tool for just this. You know what I'm saying? For you to get by. We all got it. What is it? The ego, the id and super id, something like that, and they all kind of like interchange and react with each other and stuff. I think the super id, right? Whatever's the most super subconscious one, that's the one that you got to start to, pay more attention to and understand it and learn it. Because I feel like that is like that's the core program of how you're going to operate in life. And your life is going to reflect that based off of whatever that subconscious programming is. And the only way you can even start operating like that, changing your programming and everything, you gotta understand and learn what the program is right now. And I just want to throw this in there. Everything I'm saying is nothing new. I feel like this is like knowledge that we all kind of know, but we kind of either just forget about it or yeah, it's either it's just been lost over time, and you know, it's not something that is gosh, man, I was just fucking I don't know, it's just not something that's popular and advocated for. I mean, I'm noting, you know what's crazy? I'm noticing an increase in that. I'm starting to see a lot more people talk about stuff like this, you know, self-awareness and, you know, practicing, you know, understanding yourself. I don't know, maybe that's because I'm making videos like this, talking about this stuff. But at the same time, I also think that's just like something that's starting to trend again, because society's gotten to a point where it's like you can only get so fake. It's gonna get so fake to the point where there's gonna be resistance to that. It's like, nah, we ain't going for that no more. That's bullshit. Nah, y'all doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You're doing too much. So it's like, nah, we're not. There's a resistance to that, to fake shit. And you know, there's a yearning for substance and things that are real, that hold real value. You know what I mean? You can put this in music. You see it in the movies. Just in relationships, people are yearning for that substance and that genuity, you know, and authenticity. That's what we want. We want that, you know. So when you going and watching videos on people that are supposedly, you know, the experts or the masters of that shit, just you gotta really like look at them at a side, like with a side, like you gotta think about certain things. These are a few questions to ask yourself when they're saying this stuff, or things to understand. One thing to understand: this person that's telling me this information, this is their own personal experience, and how they come to this conclusion is from how they grew up and everything. You know, it's real personal with whatever, you know, they're saying. just have that as an anchor while you're listening to the information. Keep that in mind. Also too, well, what is their intentions on making this video? You know, I can't just, I'm only getting, you know, because you're only getting so much of them. So you can only take in so much information because you're only seeing so much. So I'm overall basically saying, like, don't be so trusting on what you see and what you hear. Like, don't even, like me, you ain't gotta trust me, you know? Once you establish a foundation of yourself and you hear things that, you know, either you're aspiring towards or that things that you're inspired by, or, you know, you see a likeness that you want to emulate, or just basically things that you want to add on to you personally, that's fine. But do that by first establishing a foundation on who you are. Well, what do I think about this? Or, you know, what am I like? You know what I'm saying? You got to understand and know yourself down to a T in order for all this other information that you're getting from other people to actually be beneficial and, you know, able to be applied into your own life. Because if not, you're just going to be being a copycat. You can't be a copycat, you know, because eventually you just building up a glass house. One day, that's a rock going to knock down that whole shit, and you thought you was the shit. Because of who you saw and studying this, watching old pimp videos, reading books, you know, reading 48 Laws of Power, all that shit, man. It's like, that shit is not, it might as well just be reading it for entertainment, because you ignoring that, you ignoring that is you not doing the work. And all these people that came out with all this content for you to consume have done the work, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, actually, they have, because because what's crazy when, you know, when you do that, you'll be able to see, like, oh, okay, they saying the same shit that I thought about at one point in time. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I low key think that this is like the secret to success, and I'm just now figuring it out. In all my 26 years of living, like really, really, like, what am I trying to say? Like, embodying it. Like, you know, of course, I always had like I didn't always have a strong self-esteem, but you know, the way that I was raised up, my people's raised me up to have, like, where I have confidence in myself. You know, it's gonna take a lot for you to make me feel like, oh damn, like, don't get me wrong, people hurt my feelings, this and that, and all the time, but it's like that shit never stains me, you know. It will never stain me. Like, at my core, it never stained me, because I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up with people talking shit, talking down on me. People spoke life into me growing up. So, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, well, shit, I'm the shit until proven otherwise, you know? And even then, that also built, I don't want to make this all about me, I just want to say this. So you guys can understand the power in, you know, understanding yourself and being confident in that and embodying it. But even then, you know what I'm saying, I'm growing up, I'm not hearing too much negative things about me. And so it would even get to a point where it's all like, I invite negativity, I invite the criticisms. You know, at first I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why would you say that? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up like, I thought like the kids in my class in elementary schools, I was like one of the few only black kids at the whole school. I thought I was cool. I thought I was the coolest kid, just being myself. But then I would also get hella in trouble by the teachers and shit. I don't know. But anyway. Like I'm saying though, it's like, then when I get to a point, when my parents, they want me to play football, what was it, Mighty Mites in the hood, then everybody talking shit, like, what? Shut up, this and them picking on bullying me, cause like how I talk and everything. I'm like, damn, like what? At first that shit tripped me up. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why ain't being mean to me? Why ain't fuck with me like everybody else at school do? And it made me realize, open up my mind, like, okay, not everybody gonna like you. And then eventually I learned, like, I'm okay with that, cause I don't like everybody. You know? All right, let's get back on track. But yeah, the main thing, me even bring that up, is that there's power in understanding yourself, bro. You're going to be able to navigate where you want to go. And you're going to be able to navigate on where you should go. On who you should deal with and who you shouldn't deal with. You know? And it ain't got to be, I don't know, even if you have established the relationships before you understanding this, it ain't got to be like, well, fuck you guys. Fuck everybody. Nah, I'm not fucking with none of y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my own shit. You don't even got to be about it. You ain't got to go about it like that. You know, it's more so a shift in priority, you know, on what's important to you. So it's like, nah, because since I took this, I know myself and everything, I know where I want to go in life. I gotta start doing some work. I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of catch up to do for that time lost. You know, like I said, it's time lost because you have these thoughts, you have these ideologies. You've seen videos on TikTok before in the past, maybe like 3-4 years ago, all these self-help shit, this cool esoteric, this spiritual shit and everything. But the thing that you come to the realization is like, damn, well, what the fuck? I know all this shit, but it has not been applied. It hasn't been applied. You know, it sounds good in the moment. It makes me feel good. It makes me motivated in that moment of watching the video. After that video's on, I'm over here watching I'm watching some bullshit. I'm watching this girl twerk. I'm watching, I don't know, somebody fall, they bite, a car crashing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to develop that foundation, you know, and you'll have a much clearer path on where you want to go. Don't be so trusting everybody. A lot of these niggas is faking it out here. They faking it. Pay attention to how people talk. Pay attention to all that stuff. And again, I'm gonna reiterate, when you understand yourself, you will be able to see these things. Your vision will be much more clear on who's bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? And who's actually real.